Alright, today we got a vid that actually has been on my mind. How did ancient humans deal with hygiene? Because I don't think soap goes past 1800s. No chance people had soap before the 1800s, for sure. Quote me on that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm confident. Maybe late 1700s, but there's no chance before that, bro. I don't think George Washington was really using soap, gang. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would push it to the Abe Lincoln times. I'd say maybe Abe Lincoln used some soap. I don't think anybody before him was really using soap, bro. All right. I mean, he's 1800, so he's kind of fits that, but like you know what I'm saying. Anyways, let me get past the
Up this morning and did something your ancestors could never have imagined. You turned a handle and warm, clean water appeared from nowhere.
How did you
You
even make
squeezed a
soap?
tube and put a perfectly engineered paste on a plastic tool and cleaned each individual tooth. You stood under falling hot water for 10 minutes without thinking about it once, and then you probably still felt gross and needed coffee before you felt human. Now take all of that away. No
I
handle,
feel
no
great.
tube, no falling water, no plastic anything. Just you, whatever the weather is doing, and 30 other people who are
Uh,
all dealing with the exact same
it's
problem.
shouting rain.
This is what hygiene looked like for
That's crazy.
300,000 years.
No, no, no.
And the
Oh,
answer to how ancient humans actually handled it is
300,000
not
years
what
till
you
when, bro?
expect.
When
Let's
does it
start with
stop?
teeth, because right now your mouth contains roughly 700 different species of bacteria. That number does not go down just because you brush, it
Oh,
just gets managed. Ancient humans had none of the tools we use. No toothbrush, no toothpaste, no floss, no mouthwash. And yet, when archaeologists examine ancient human skulls, they find something genuinely surprising. The teeth are often in better condition than yours.
huh?
Not always, not perfectly, but meaningfully better in specific.
That is something. When they look back, it's like your bodies were built. The bodies were built different. Wow. You think that's gonna happen to the skin too? There's no way. No way they're cleaner than we are now. That makes no sense. I get the teeth because some animals' teeth are not they're not bad. I can get it. Maybe the foods. It's really the selection of foods.
Specific ways.
Shut up,
A
KB.
2013 study
Bad.
published in Nature Genetics analyzed the bacteria preserved in ancient human teeth going back 7,500 years and found that the diversity of harmful
1300s.
bacteria in human mouths actually increased dramatically after the agricultural revolution. Before
Oh,
farming, ancient humans ate a wide variety of foods: roots, berries, meat, nuts, leaves, and the bacterial ecosystem in their mouths reflected that variety. After farming, when humans switched to grain-heavy diets full of refined carbohydrates, the
huh?
specific bacteria that caused tooth decay exploded in numbers. In other
Oh,
words, ancient hunter-gatherers didn't have better dental hygiene, they had better food. The
okay.
moment humans invented bread, they invented cavities. But they weren't completely doing nothing either. Archaeological evidence shows ancient humans used small sticks, specifically frayed at one end, to clean between their teeth. We found these tools at sites across Africa and the Middle East, going back
That's not
hundreds of
really cleaning
thousands
their
of
teeth
years.
too much
The
though.
chewing stick, made from trees like the neem or the miswak, contains natural antibacterial compounds that actually do reduce harmful mouth
Oh,
bacteria.
oh,
Modern studies have confirmed this. Some of them work
is that
nearly
better?
as well as a standard toothbrush. They didn't know the chemistry,
Let me
they
get one.
just noticed that certain sticks left their mouths feeling cleaner, and they kept using them. Now let's talk about something that is genuinely difficult to think about: body odor. Here is
Yes.
the uncomfortable truth. You don't actually smell as bad as you think you do when you skip a shower.
Huh. Nah, don't get too comfortable hearing that. I want y'all taking a shower every single day. Cause some of y'all hear this and y'all take it. Oh my goodness, y'all run with it, bro. I've worked with some people that smell horrendous, dude. Like you had to keep their You could smell them before you seen them. You had to keep your distance from them. They look like they stink. It's genuinely terrible, bro. It's actually like bottom five experiences on Earth is being forced near someone that freaks, bro. It's actually inhumane. It's torture.
The thing that makes humans smell is not the
My
sweat
point.
itself. Sweat is mostly water and salt. It is almost completely odorless. What makes you smell is when bacteria on your skin digest the compounds in your sweat and produce waste products as a result. The bacteria
That makes
responsible for the worst body odor live primarily in two places: your armpits and your groin, and they thrive in
yeah.
exactly the conditions that most people create by wearing the same clothes for days at a time in
Yeah.
warm temperatures. Ancient humans, who lived in much smaller groups and spent most of their time outdoors in moving air, actually had a different relationship with their own smell. They still smelled, but the bacterial balance on their skin was different.
Ow.
Modern research into communities who have never used soap or deodorant has found that their skin microbiome, the ecosystem of bacteria living on the surface of their bodies, is fundamentally different from ours. Not necessarily worse, just different. We have wiped out huge
Yeah.
populations of bacteria from our skin through soap and modern hygiene. Some of those bacteria were actually doing useful things,
Yeah.
protecting against
I
pathogens,
assume so.
regulating skin pH, producing natural antimicrobials. And ancient humans understood something practical even without knowing the science. They used plants. Archaeological
Hmm.
evidence from multiple sites shows ancient humans rubbing aromatic plants onto their skin: mint, lavender, juniper,
Hey.
sage. Not for the smell, for the insect
Oh.
repelling properties, but the effect was the same. They smelled like the forest, which, if you
Yeah.
think about it, was not a bad way to smell in a world made entirely of forest.
Yeah.
Hair is where it gets genuinely complicated. Your hair, if left completely alone, goes through something called the no-poo stage, a period of several weeks where your scalp overproduces oil because it has been conditioned by regular shampooing to compensate for constant stripping. Ancient humans never started the cycle that created the problem in the first place. Their scalps produced oil at a rate calibrated for a life lived without shampoo. They kept
Oh.
their hair manageable through combing. We found hair combs made of bone and wood at
So,
archaeological sites.
if I have a kid and I never shampoo his hair, would he have great hair? Is that what I'm hearing? I mean, his or her hair, whatever. They would have great hair. Is that what I'm hearing? Because kind of seems like they would have dirty hair. You know what I mean? I
It's
don't know.
going back more than 10,000 years. They picked through each other's hair to remove lice and parasites,
Oh.
a behavior
Oh.
called social grooming that anthropologists believe was one of the primary bonding mechanisms of early human groups. It wasn't just hygiene, it was connection.
That's all
Robin
over your
Dunbar, the
fingers and
British
your nails.
anthropologist who developed the famous theory about the maximum size of human
That's
social
disgusting.
groups, argues that grooming, physical, intimate contact between group members, was the original form of human social bonding before language became sophisticated enough to take over. Sitting with someone and picking through their hair is an extraordinarily intimate act. It requires trust, it requires proximity,
Yeah.
it requires
It's a
time.
little intimate.
And ancient humans did it for hours every single day, not because they had nothing better to do,
Every
because it
day.
was one of the most important things they could do. Water. This one is
Food?
simple and it is not. Ancient humans were not afraid of water. They lived near it. They needed it.
Yeah.
They washed in it. The idea that ancient humans never bathed is completely wrong and seems to come from a confusion between ancient hunter-gatherers and medieval Europeans, who are a completely different story.
Wait. You mean to tell me ancient humans were cleaner than medieval humans? And medieval, that sounds recent. That sounds recent. I'm talking like recent history terms. That sounds 1300, 1400, 1500, 1600s, maybe even 1700s. Maybe my prediction was right. I gotta look up when is medieval, bro. When is medieval? Where is my phone? Where is my phone? When is medieval? That sounds recent, dude. I don't know the exact timeline on it. We're getting, we're getting to the bottom of this ASAP. When is medieval? What time period? What time period is associated with medieval? Here we go. What time? What time period is associated with medieval? How do you spell that? Oh, did I spell that right? No. Why didn't I spell that right? Ah, I did a A instead. I mean, I did an I instead of A at the end. Oh, okay. Medieval period is from the 15th century, the 5th century to 15th century. So the 1500s, 500. Okay, 1500s. Okay, so I might have took away a
Ancient
couple hundred
hunter-gatherers
years.
living near rivers and lakes washed
About
regularly.
200.
The Hadza of Tanzania, one of the last true hunter-gatherer groups alive today, bathe in rivers and clean themselves with water as a normal part of daily life. What ancient humans didn't have was soap. The earliest evidence of soap production comes from ancient Babylon around 2800 BCE. Before that, people used alternatives. Sand worked as
And
an abrasive. Ash mixed with water creates a mildly alkaline solution that cuts through grease. Clay draws oils out of skin when applied and rinsed. None of these are as effective as modern soap, but they are not nothing. And for a body that
yeah,
had never been exposed to the bacterial populations that modern soap is designed to fight, they were often enough. And then there's the part that nobody wants to talk about, but that
What?
everybody wonders about: toilet habits. Ancient humans dealt with this the same way every other animal on Earth deals with it. They went outside, but they were smarter about it than that sounds. Multiple archaeological sites show evidence of what researchers call latrine areas, specific spots away from sleeping and eating areas that groups consistently used
That's
for
smart.
waste. The Neanderthals, our closest relatives who lived alongside
That's
early
smart.
humans for thousands of years, show evidence of this behavior at sites in Spain and France. This matters more than it sounds. Separating waste from living areas is one of the most important public health behaviors that exists.
Yeah.
Most of the great plagues and epidemics of human history happened not because people were dirty in the modern sense,
Shout out to the
but because
Europeans, bro.
urbanization crammed thousands of people together without the space to maintain the distance between waste and water that small nomadic groups naturally maintained.
Europe's
Ancient
overrated.
hunter-gatherers, moving regularly and living in small groups, naturally avoided the
I
sanitation
used to want to go to
catastrophes
Europe.
that would later kill millions of people in
When you deep
cities.
dive in,
They
it's
weren't
not really
more
that great.
hygienic than medieval
No
city dwellers
AC.
because they were smarter. They were more hygienic because they never
Food's
stopped
not
moving.
great.
Here's what stays with me about all
They're
of
gonna say
this.
it's
For
healthy, but
300,000 years,
food tastes
humans
good
kept
over here.
themselves clean enough to
I mean,
survive,
it is
to
healthy.
thrive,
Nah,
to
that's what they're
build
saying,
cultures
but
and relationships and languages and art without a single product, without a single drop of anything that came from a factory.
so is
And the methods
New
they
York's
used,
overrated
the
too.
chewing sticks, the aromatic plants, the
Biggest
social
rats in the
grooming,
world.
the latrine areas, the natural water sources,
Trash
weren't
on the side
primitive
of the
workarounds.
streets.
They were solutions that worked. Some of them, like the antibacterial properties of miswak sticks, we are still studying today because they genuinely hold up against modern alternatives. The
Really?
morning
Let me get
routine
one.
you did today, the hot water, the engineered paste, the falling water from nowhere, is extraordinary. It is the result of thousands of years of accumulated knowledge and industrial development, but it is solving a problem that for most of human history was solved by paying attention to the world around you, noticing which stick leaves your mouth feeling cleaner, noticing which plant keeps the insects away, noticing where to go
Mm.
and where not to go. Your ancestors weren't dirty, they were just working with different tools. And some of those tools, it turns out, were better than we gave them credit for.
This is a great video. I love this video. I'm gonna like this. I might throw this dude in my rotation. Never heard of this dude before this vid. Who is this? Smart Sam explains. Yeah, I like your vid, man. It's great. That'll be it for the video, man. It's very, very knowledgeable. I like this.